goal.
Just a little looking, but yeah, pretty clear.
Say that.
Yeah, honestly, that just ruined my whole year.
I had trouble.
Okay. What did you say, Leah?
I just said, just to be clear, I would like to make millions with AI.
Yeah,
I know.
You said I'm not going to by the end of the month.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I volunteer to be the one to make the million.
Yeah. Prove everyone right.
I just want to say I'm very lucky and things always work out for me. So, I'm here today, guys.
Yoo-hoo.
Awesome. Be our good luck charm. Just be it for the whole group. don't keep it for yourself.
Larisha is
No,
a rock.
that's why I put it out there for all of us.
Yeah. Larisha, anything she puts her mind to, she just kills it. And so my favorite thing is, what was this? 3 or 4 years ago, she hiked the Jordan Trail for 5 weeks, and she made a little a map book of the whole Jordan Trail with all the stops along the way, and produced it. It was like as good as anything you'd buy. And then she also said she was going to be able to manage our clients for the 5 weeks she was gone. And she did, with the exception of one day where she left her phone in a cab. And then what? You met the cousin of someone who knew the guy.
I met the cousin who knew the guy who had given me the ride, and he got my cell phone.
And they gave you back your phone. That was amazing.
He drove like 2 hours to bring it back to me because we were backpacking the Jordan Trail, so we were living out of our backpacks in the desert. It was cool.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so let's get started. This is the AI Artist Salon. If you thought you were at something else, sorry. AI is going to be big. That's what we hear. Leah and I are your hosts. We've got Allie and Ken in the room here. We've got Damien and Teri who also help with organizing. If anyone is interested in organizing and supporting the group, there's lots to do. We have a Discord. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Twitter. We have I don't know what else. And yeah, we'll get started. So Leah, why don't you tell people why the hell we started this?
Why the hell did we start this? Okay, so about 6 weeks ago, Kyle and I had a conversation about this and said, okay, let's keep talking about this. I think it was a half-hour call we had set up, and we didn't want to stop talking because we were so excited about that. I feel like that was a lifetime ago, and I think it was 6 weeks ago. So we launched this, started telling people, posting it on social media, and we're here to ask questions. We're here with curiosity. We're here to find out really what this technology can do. And I think we're leaning it a little more towards sort of from an artistic perspective. How can it be creative, right? We know we have this powerful tool. We're learning about it. Now what do we do with it, right? And how do we keep our voices within it? I think that's what we're here for. Build community. We've got the Discord channel, which is incredible. So if you've not signed up for that yet, please do. Yeah.
And Allie's going to actually be walking you through, if you don't know what Discord is, which I didn't. I did some NFT stuff like a year ago, and I got in it. And my kids are on Discord. I've been on Discord for years, so I'm like the old guy on Discord. So if you don't know Discord, Allie's going to walk you through what it is and how to use it, and show you what we've got going on. It's really powerful. It allows us to stay connected in between these meetings
And share news and discuss stuff. I just dropped a link into the chat of the call for anyone who is already on Discord and familiar with it. If you want to go ahead and join our server, you can go ahead and click that now. I don't know where I'm looking. Otherwise, yes, I will walk everyone through how to get on Discord and MidJourney later. And don't click it now.
That's great.
I can't wait. Yeah.
So let's why don't we do introductions? We'll go around. If you're new to the meeting, would love to have you introduce yourself. If you're here in Denver, we're going to pass around the little camera on a stick, and we'll do that. So Leah, why don't you go first, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. Hi, I'm Leah Faston. I am a commercial photographer based out of Boston, and I've been making pictures for 20 years, and I am now working on how to use machine learning and artificial intelligence to expand what I have done. I'm very happy that you are here.
Great. Yeah, me too. I'm Kyle Shannon. I'm a longtime entrepreneur. I'm no longer employable, so so I have to start my own companies. But when something like all this AI stuff comes along and I get excited about it, I can't stop. This is the last time I started a group like this was in 1994, and it was called the World Wide Web Artists Consortium in New York City. And it was because there was a similar really exciting technology that no one knew anything about. And I feel like we're at the exact same place, except like on crack.
Yeah.
So with that, why don't we start online this time? If you're new to the meeting, introduce yourself, and I'll try to pop you up on the screen here locally. And if you don't volunteer, we will call on you.
I guess I'll go. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex, last name Meza. My handle on Discord is Cartoon Capo. My background is mostly in art and cartoons, and right now I'm working on gaming art for a mobile project that I've been on for about 5 years. And I'm looking forward to but seeing what everyone's thoughts are, the collective, on using AI for concepts, and not necessarily final iterations, but as a foundation for something larger.
Awesome. Great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'll go.
I'll go next.
Um,
I'm Lisa. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Candy Grossman. I'm based in New Jersey. I'm a marketing person by trade, but the past 3.5 years, I've worked as a consulting partner with chief marketing officers for the company that I work for, which is a technology consulting firm. And my firm, because it's technology oriented, I work with a lot of people that are very adept and knowledgeable of AI from a technical perspective, but I'm really curious about it from a true marketing perspective.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Awesome. Welcome, Candy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. I'm Lisa, and I'm very excited to be here. I think we need to get a jump on this AI before it gets a jump on us.
Here. Yep.
I'm a UX UI designer. I am looking for a position, freelance, contract, employee, whatever is available. But once again, very happy to be here. Very excited to see what this AI can do and what we can do to take it over.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for being here.
I'll go next. Hey, everyone. Larissa Ono. My background has a few things: instructional design, curriculum development, project management, account management, and then on the creative side, I'm using AI to leverage and make myself more efficient in those fields. Also, copywriting is a part of kind of my day-to-day of what I do with Kyle. And then beyond that, I've actually been using it mostly right now in my personal life, because for me to get interested, I have to immediately get gratification. So I used it over the winter break to write my daughter a beautiful book about bedtime routine. She's 2 years old. And then once we wrote it, then I used it to illustrate the images for it and sent it off to the printer. I've used it now. I've reduced my meal planning from being just a mental heap to my meal planning all being done, my exercise routine, and really just taking a lot of the, housewife, mother duties off of my plate is where I'm currently looking to leverage it. Of like, how do I get a little more time back in my day? Because everyone demands so much of me all the time.
Except me. I don't demand anything of Larissa.
Oh yeah, not Kyle, not at all. My boss doesn't demand anything of me. No.
Cool.
I
Who
love that.
else?
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathaniel Foster, software engineer based in Denver here. I'm actually not too far from the office where y'all are at, but I ran out of time, so I wasn't able to make it down there. But yeah, I've been messing around with ChatGPT some visual generation tools as well, but it's interesting to see where it's going.
Terrific. Great.
Hey,
I can go
jump in here,
next.
Kyle. Oh, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Illustrata. I have been creating art with AI since late 2021. I'm really excited to be here. I'm based out of the Northeast, US, and yeah, Leah, and yeah, I'm just really excited to be here. I'm looking forward to hearing more, watching all the different sections that you all have, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, no, excited to have you. If you check out Illustrata's work on Twitter. Her work's amazing. And I assume you've got other places other than Twitter, but your work's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, all the places.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've been fanboying out for a while, so I'm excited you're here.
Thank you.
Who else?
I'll say hi. My name is Dave Momper. Hey guys, I'm here in Denver. I know Kyle through the I suppose the entrepreneurial world of Denver, and I also run an organization here in the city called Creative Mornings, the Denver chapter. I just dropped it in the chat. So I'm kind of I guess I'm a community builder, a people aggregator, and I have no idea what I'm doing here actually. Besides learning about AI in general, which I'm very, very new to. I'm not really utilizing it in any way, but I've been watching it kind of secondhand and just seeing it change the world and so forth. But Kyle is going to come to our event on January 27th and announce, I think, this group, for instance, or just the initiative at large. And then also, I want to foster, it's a once a month breakfast lecture series. So I'm looking for probably a speaker in the next 3 or 4 months who could come in and share something firsthand to our community, which is normally 100, 150 people in person. And then it's a worldwide organization. So there's probably opportunities all over the country, all over the world if you're in the right city, and just here to listen and learn and say hello. So thanks for having me, Kyle.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Great to have you.
Thanks for being here.
All right, let's do 2 more people online, and then we'll do here locally in the room here in Denver.
Hey, Kyle, I'll jump in. This is Forrest Lighthouse, co-founder of an organization, Planetary Care, which is about accelerating regenerative agriculture. Really discovered this recently in the last 9 months, and how fast this has taken off is just extraordinary. I've been involved with the IEEE and Spatial Web and the Metaverse Standards Forum for the last year or so. So if people don't know about HSTP and HSML and what's coming down the pike, it fits in really well with this. Glad to be here. Love what you're doing, Kyle and Leah.
So happy to have you here. Awesome.
Yeah, really glad to have you here. It's exciting. And it actually reminds me, and we'll talk about this, but part of the idea here, and what I think we're going to continue to see is people from very different backgrounds coming in, some with deep experience, some with no experience, and everything in between. So if you've got something to contribute, please let us know, because we have 2 speakers tonight. You'll see it's going to be really amazing what you'll learn, but we need more speakers. So if you have things to contribute, please reach out. Let's do 1 more online, and then we'll do in the room here.
I'm Drew Shockley. I'm in Chicago. Used to be in Denver. I'm a web designer and developer. Getting my feet wet with AI a little bit. Haven't created much that's very useful yet, but I'm eager to learn.
All right, great. So let's see. Let's do this. We're gonna pass around the talking stick here. I got to do a couple of things. Hold, please.
Are we mute or someone's mute? Thank you.
Now
guys.
we hear you. Yep, you sound great.
No, the room. I thought
Kyle, I don't think we can
Kyle,
hear
I
the
think
room.
the room is muted.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, it was muted. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you may have to re-intro the first.
So let's. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So sorry.
asking with something different. So formerly, I'm a software IT consultant. Then I moved to real estate as an investor. And after 5-6 years, I'm trying to blend my past with modern and come up with new products. So bringing in my IT background, entrepreneurship, innovation, and the new tech all together across different verticals and kind of see what I can come up with and with the new people. Great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. This is Antonio. Nice to meet you. I recently moved from, I'm Italian, but I lived in San Francisco for a few years and recently moved to Denver. And I'm working on a startup to, let's say, at the intersection between NFT and AI, and it's for creators to engage with their audience using AI. Very early stage, but excited to be in the space.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth. I recently moved to Denver. I'm a graphic designer. I have a background as a fine artist, and I have also done a fair amount of writing. I did technical documentation for software. And so for me, design is already kind of a blend of my art and tech backgrounds, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where AI can take me.
Didn't we meet at a
We did. We actually met at the last Creative Morning. So David, I was glad to see that you're on the call as well. That's fun. I really enjoyed that event, by the way.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew. I work as a data scientist, so doing a lot of machine learning at work. I also
So it's your fault?
Yeah, exactly. Done some work with like large language models like ChatGPT, less with the image stuff. I like tinkering with it in my spare time too. Done some writing with them. Look forward to see what people do with it.
That's great.
Welcome. So I'll introduce myself later.
Hi, my name is Igor. I'm from Ukraine, but I've been living in Denver for the last 6 years. Since I'm involved with AI, I'm in security, the information security industry with the Western Union right now. Actually just got a job, and just curious, and I like meeting people, so that's why I'm here.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Great.
And that's Ken. Ken's one of our organizers. All right. Now wait, I got to go back. We're holding, and we're back. Can y'all hear? Yeah.
Hi there. We hear you.
Great. Okay. So let's jump into the news. Is the news next, Leah?
We can jump into the news. Yeah. We did the Discord and news. Sure. Let's do news.
Right.
Okay.
Great. So we're still trying to figure out what we want this section to be, but part of the idea is so much is happening every day with this that what we thought we could do every 2 weeks is kind of pick a handful of stories and just sort of pull them up and talk about them for a bit because there's so much going on. A big part of the Discord that Ali's going to walk you through is talking about news. We have a news section. One of our members, Eric, is masterful at like dumping a bunch of really interesting stories in there. So there's always things to talk about. So that's the idea. So with the first one, we're seeing a lot of, the kind of artist revolt. And I saw a thing, I think yesterday, where now they're claiming that all this protest is fake. It's all astroturfing. And so, it's curious. But Leah, what are your thoughts on this particular issue?
I think anytime there's new technology, people start to push back. And I know in the artist community, people are very, very sensitive to having their images used to train AI and train data models. And I think artists feel really powerless. They feel like they don't have a lot to do, and they don't really understand the what is involved. And I think copyright and copyright law is really important for the sort of the long-term survival of creators. And so I think people are really upset about their IP being used without attribution payment.
Or compensation.
What's that?
Compensation.
Or compensation.
That's right.
What are other people's thoughts on the call?
I would say I know a lot of artists who are not astroturfing this, especially in the comic book community, where I know a lot of folks, and so this is a real concern, whether it's folks who are uninformed of what it is or scared of it, or a combination of both. But I think that Leah, what you were saying about art being leveraged, possibly for the training here, is affecting a lot of people's concerns, at least initially. So if there's folks saying this is astroturfing, I think there's a lot of reality behind it.
Yep, I think so. A lot of reality, a lot of fear.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Anyone else? Any other thoughts?
Didn't someone write something about opt out of AI art? Isn't there some site? Okay. Yeah, so there is an opt out option for artists that don't want to be a part of it.
Well, and I think, I think
that's kind of.
Only for
I'm sorry. It's great that we can opt out or artists can opt out, but it's like whack-a-mole. Like, we don't have a system. I don't think there's a system of like, I'm opting out for everything. All these companies are all over the place. So I don't know. I'm new here and I don't know anything about AI, but I'm super interested in the ethics and the intellectual property part of it.
Yeah.
More than the creation itself. Like I tried a little bit yesterday and, it was a disaster, but it was a good disaster to play with.
Yeah,
but
you're an expert.
Of a day, like a day-long expert. So it's a great it's going to be a great problem to have to solve.
I feel like
I'm with you. Oh, sorry.
Christina, too, you've worked sort of on the front lines with artists around licensing imagery, working with commercial artists, figuring out how to negotiate these sort of things. So I feel like you bring an interesting perspective to it.
Yeah. Kenny, you had a thought?
I think to me the solve is really easy, to be honest. I think
what did you say?
I think most of the solve is incredibly easy. And I think, people that follow me on LinkedIn and stuff have seen this. I think the easiest thing is going after, MidJourney and Stable Diffusion and whatever, and asking your name to be banned. I think there will be a lawsuit soon where an IP, a Disney, a Mickey Mouse, or, even an artist named Shepard Fairey, Mark Ryden. I think we'll see a lawsuit soon where they ask to have their name banned. And once you ban a name, it's really hard to get that style. I actually was able to recreate Shepard Fairey's style, but it's not exactly his style. And it's using, things that a artist who was studying him would do. It's like knowing what the kind of work that he does. So I think that's an easy and first step at making this ethical, is that banning names.
Interesting, Ali. You've got the double hand raise.
I like quadruple hands raised because I think it's really important to point out that we should not be focusing on opt out. We should be focusing on opt in and get paid, get royalties, make money off it. We don't want all of the artists to take their high quality art off of these platforms so the quality suffers and nobody gets paid. We want the artists to get paid, and we want MidJourney to give a cut of their profits to every artist who is in the training set.
Interesting.
That is my opinion, is that I want everyone to opt in and make money for opting in. That there was another thing. Oh, I got too excited. Okay, I'll leave it at that.
We'll go.
Sorry, I remember, and it is actually important, which is this is a great conversation, and we have a channel specifically for like the legal ethics talk stuff on our Discord. It's one of the most active channels. So I get super into this, obviously, and it sounds like a lot of other people have things to contribute as well. I think that's something we're all interested in. This isn't a community that's like, we are either pro AI or anti-AI. We're all wanting to have that conversation in real time. And I just wanted to like remind everyone there's a channel on the Discord so we can keep that going.
Perfect. Roger, you had a thought?
I think we're going to get too off into the weeds here, so I retracted.
Okay, cool. Great. Leah, one more thought, and then we'll move on to another story, because we could go on for this for another 2 hours. But
one more thought is I think that I think that AI is going to give us opportunities to tie our IP to the blockchain and other ways of compensation that we don't even understand yet. And I think it's very exciting to think about ways that as images and art and IP gets used and consumed, it could be an automatic way that the creators get paid every time it's used for training, inspiration, however.
Yeah.
That's what I hope, that I hope that all artists could basically have like a royalty stream of pennies coming in just all the time based on how often their work is being used in these generative
it's called
models.
to be generated. Yeah, I think it'll move to that.
Like Spotify's music library and compensation system, but for
generative AI.
Yeah.
One of the things Leah and I were talking about on this story is, you think of these AI models, they're almost the new equivalent of what museums and libraries currently are, right? Where we're capturing humanity and these things are reflecting humanity. So if everyone opts out, you're sort of killing our access to humanity, right? So I'm with you. Like, we've got to find a way for people to opt in, and contemporary people to be compensated. But anyway, let's move on. It's a deep topic. This is a really interesting story that was in Petapixel. It said, can AI win a photography competition? Take the Turing test. So on those top two images, one of them's AI generated and one of them's a real photograph. And then they put together a little competition here where I think it's 5 of these images are photographs and 5 of them are AI generated. And can you tell which? And the fact that it's even a question, the fact that you're not quite sure, like the lighthouses one's really interesting. I thought the one on the left was the real photo. That's the AI one. And so this is with our current technology, which is arguably relatively young, a year or two young, and it's this good. Where are we 3 or 4 years from now? It'll be indistinguishable. And does that matter, and does it not? So I don't know, thoughts?
Questions? I was reminded probably 20 years ago, maybe a little bit before that, when digital photography was starting to become a thing. I worked at newspapers, and there was a lot of debate about whether a digital photograph could be entered into a photo competition. Really, a photograph. It sounds ridiculous now, but this is really very familiar.
Fascinating.
Alex, and anyway. Her hand raised.
Oh, that was from before. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, and then the last one. Another really interesting question. Will DALL-E and tools like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion kill off creative careers? And I started this little TikTok channel. A lot of the feedback I'm getting is, oh, creative's dead, because these things automatically create the stuff. Creative's dead. Having done it for a little bit, I find it completely the opposite to be true, but I'm just curious. We've got some people who are not in this, some people that are. What are your thoughts? Any fears?
Kill seems like such a binary oversimplification.
I know, it does, right?
Radically transform sounds much more plausible than kill.
Yeah, I agree.
My first kind of creative experience, I felt like I was co-authoring and co-illustrating. I felt like AI and myself were mutually putting in the same amount of effort to get to my desired end result. The keyword being my desired end result.
Yep. I also, I assume you experience this too, Larisha. that things I'm not good at, that it's good at, all of a sudden the AI, like it reduces friction. I can have an idea, and rather than getting stuck on, oh, how do I illustrate this? I can just go illustrate it. And so for me, I find it actually accelerating my creative
Yes.
engagement.
So I feel like it is the cure for creative blockage. Like,
oh, totally.
Like it clears me quicker than a walk or meditation.
Yep.
We have-
Let's see. We've got
two hands raised. Christina and Ron. So Christina, why don't you go first?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
You might need
Yeah.
a moderator to like a dedicated
okay.
person to plan on.
It must have been that important. Yeah, where's the AI when I need it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm like, it's our third meeting, so I'm crappy at Google Meets management. Cartoon, Capo, and Ron, do either of you have thoughts on this? Your hands are up.
Ron can go first. He had his hand first.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if anybody uses DALL-E 2, that's kind of like the soulless version of AI, in my opinion. So, no, AI is not going to steal anybody's creative job. And if AI itself won't create, if you put a box, somebody has to be steering the wheel of what it creates. So the creative part, creative jobs is always going to be there for somebody who is creative. And that's just my personal opinion. And I have no art history. My last 15 years job is sales and finance, and coming from no art history, but doing art in the last 2 years, yeah, it's not going to take anybody's job. I promise you. I don't promise you, but I don't think it's going to take anybody's job.
I think the people that have to really worry about their job being at risk are those that believe that whatever comes out of MidJourney or ChatGPT is ready to be pretty much published. And I think a lot of artists have yet to grasp their own gravitas in experiencing and developing their own skills. And all of a sudden here comes a quick tool that they believe is going to interfere even with their growth. I think my biggest fear in using MidJourney as an artist is relying on it too much, because it is so too quick. It is very fast, and it gives me great incentive to not want to pick up my pen anymore. Because on the other end though, when you finesse your prompts, it's amazing what can also be there. I mean, that's the scary part, right? It almost seems like you're diluting your own creative right side, and let me put it to you this way. Sorry, I'm rambling. The left side is the one that comes up with the prompts, thinking what the right side is going to develop. Now, MidJourney is sort of doing that, but I am concerned that I'm going to start using it. I'm going to lose creative muscle because of this. But that's on me on how I use this tool. So I'm keeping myself on a level of a foundation. But when it comes to blocking, I mean, when I'm blocked creatively, boy, oh boy, is it a great a tool, and I rely a lot on Google Images sometimes even to help me break from that. But MidJourney is just spot on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
now it's
Alex,
exactly.
I would be curious too to see how, since you're coming from cartooning and illustration, how AI can take what you've already done and expand it, right? So it's still your voice, it's still your vision, it's still your ideas. You're just using the technology to expand and grow it into a direction that feels even more true to your voice.
Funny enough, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with CalArts, which is a very art university college here in Southern California. That was created by Disney at the time when they needed more artists and to teach them the Disney way. Pretty much all the portfolios I would see when I was in animation all had the Disney way cartoon, which is great. But if anyone is going to be afraid of someone stealing their style, the Disney way is already there. And if I see a portfolio nowadays, having that Disney way, you know, the big eyes, the big head, and all these other wonderful little character traits. That is already existing. So it'll be interesting to see how creative, how even these people, these artists can break away from that. I see a lot of prompts, you know, with the Pixar way. I want that little avatar the Pixar way, and Pixar has their style too. So if you see a lot of their artists, they have the exact same thing. Those, I think, are the folks that are really scared mostly on the job being taken over. In terms of style, I believe that there's some great points on people fearing this, but I highly doubt that MidJourney is going to really take over because in the industry, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to ramble. In the industry, when it comes to entertainment, they're always looking at the bottom line, which in essence means there's a producer out there thinking, how can I use this and not hire this really expensive, wonderful team of artists? I'm just going to grab these PAs, production associates, and tell them just type in, right? In many ways, it's kind of like the avatar of the put enough monkeys on typewriters in a room and they'll come up with an episode of I Love Lucy. I think that was the meme back then.
So Alex, we have some other people who's hand to raise, so we're gonna go to the next. But yes, everything.
Yes, I apologize. Please, continue.
Okay, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll make. First of all, I love how you started that. I forget how you started that, but that was awesome. I would just say I do think it will take jobs, but we don't know what jobs it'll create. So I look at the photo industry, and I know Leah was there too, and some others.
Still there? Still working? Still
yeah, you're still there.
Industry, still present tense.
When you think about film, you had processing houses,
Well,
right?
film,
And there were
right.
a handful of people in the processing house that would service hundreds of photographers.
That's right.
Now that went away. I mean, to the most part. But now you have a digital tech on each photo shoot, at least one. So that created more jobs. So we don't know. Yes, jobs will definitely go away. We don't know what jobs will be created, and I think that's what we need to focus on, really, and figure out rather than the other.
Agreed.
You know, one of the things it's gonna probably happen, like when Photoshop first came out, anyone who knew how to use a computer that knew how to use Photoshop was now a Photoshop designer, and then you realized, oh, some people aren't good at Photoshop, right? They made really crappy images, right? So I think we're going to see a similar thing here where if you know AI, it's like, oh, you know AI? You do this job, right? So we're going to have a ton of people that are using these incredibly sophisticated tools poorly, right? And then there will be artists that emerge through that and get really sophisticated with it. We have to move on for time. I know that it looks like there's some really interesting comments going on in chat. So if you're online, the chat stuff looks good. So thanks for continuing that. But I want to sort of close this section down and move on. I want to introduce Ali, who's going to teach us how to use MidJourney. And I'm really, huh?
Just 1 second.
Well, I've got you in the. Let's see. How do I hit?
I mean, I can go now, but I thought the idea was let's show some cool stuff that can be made with AI, and then we'll talk about how to make it.
All right, good. Teri, are you ready to go? Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah. Okay.
Leah, why don't you introduce Teri, and then we'll call an audible here, or we'll do what we agreed to, but what was not in the agenda.
Yeah. So Teri Spataro, is that right?
That's right.
Really excited to hear what you're gonna have to say. Is going to talk about her new book, Beyond Darkness, and it's a project. And if I understand this correctly, the art and the words, the whole story was done using machine learning. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So without further ado, Teri, tell us everything you know. It's so exciting.
Okay. So I could pull up a presentation, right?
Yeah, and I think you can present.
Oh,
if you hit the present button. Do you have a present arrow?
Yep, I do. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It's only going to present. Oh, can I present from my desktop? That's the question.
You should be able to.
Okay.
Wherever you're running Google Meet, you should be able to just grab one of the two screens. If you've got two screens.
No, I only have one.
Are you on a Mac? I mean, are you on Safari?
Oh wait, let's see. No, I'm not on Safari. I'm on Chrome.
Oh, okay, never mind. Chrome should work. Yeah.
Oh, this really sucks. Let's see.
What's it say?
It just says entire screen, a window, a tab.
So do entire screen.
Oh, okay. And well, it's okay. Let me try this and let me see if I could bring up. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Ah, very cool. Okay. All right. Let's get on to this. All right. So yeah, what I did was actually made a book. I did all the things. Oh, what was his name? The cartoon guy said not to do, but I'm used to breaking all the rules. So beyond this, as Kyle knows, and we go way back, Beyond Darkness. So I just want to preface this. There are some kind of disturbing images in here. So if you're a little overly sensitive, close your eyes. Okay, so let's get on with this. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about who in the hells am I. So I like the little witchy reference to myself, but I consider myself more of a creator, or going back to my roots, which is creative direction. I'm a creator that uses AI-infused art and digital tools to create fine arts, products. I'm actually basically at the intersection of art and technology. So I like to bring in references from both those worlds. My journey, interestingly enough, began way back in the 80s. I learned bookmaking from Leonard Everett Fisher, and if you know who he is, I'm sure you all had to read something that he actually illustrated when you were a kid. And I attended the traditional School of Art, Peer College of Art, so I actually know how to paint and draw and all sorts of things like that. So as I mentioned, my journey in art began in the 80s, but in the mid-80s, I started my whole digital art world, and it's been evolving ever since. And I've had this incredible career in digital branding. And okay, so here we go. This is interesting. This is the third book that I've actually published using AI-infused art. The first one was actually the first poetically illustrated book using Playform, and the second one, Tales from Space, is also a Playform illustrated book. So we'll go on, since I don't want to take up too much time, and you can actually get this presentation and take a look at the links. I am on the Tezos blockchain, so I do mint most of my work that I create with AI, and I'm also a co-founder of TezTown, which helps people get on the Tezos blockchain. So here we go. Let's get into this. Okay, that's the picture I was telling you about. All right, so for me, horror is a metaphor. But first and foremost, I want to thank two people who are actually with us tonight, who actually helped me with my creative inspiration with a challenge that they put out. It's Illustrata and Ron Reed, who is Ebis Labs, back in September said, hey, you guys should, participate in this Halloween haunt project, which was very cool. So it opened my mind to a lot of things. Both Illustrata and Ron Reed are amazing AI artists. I've learned a lot from them, so if you get a chance, do follow them both. What it did was tap into a lot of things that I didn't really understand about horror. I've written science fiction books, but this part of science fiction I've never touched on before. So it was this metaphor. The metaphor of horror is like loss, it's like loneliness, self-judgment. I also thought it was interesting because a big portion of this book is about a black hole and what happens in that black hole. And I thought this was also a metaphor. It's like being stuck in COVID, like when we were all stuck. So, picture bookmaking. As I mentioned, this is an epic horror book. It also has hope. What I wanted to do was something really cool and heart pounding, take the space adventure into making you feel something like on an emotional level, mostly fair. I had two other sources of inspiration. One was Event Horizon, the movie, and the other is Solaris, but I won't tell you too much about that because then I'll spoil the end of the book. What I want to do is also tell you the narrative in this book, or the written part of it, was created by GPT-3 and myself, because I do a lot of editing, even though I'm using a GPT-3. And what I had to do was create a narrative from the first person perspective, because I thought that would be interesting. Like, if you put yourself in the role of the captain, you have a very interesting experience with the book as you're going through it. Okay, so we'll get on to the process. Again, this was a freaking amazing, epic undertaking. I used MidJourney. Can somebody please tell me if MidJourney, how do I count up all the images? I physically had to count up all the images that I created, and I stopped at 558.
/info.
Oh, /info. Okay. Well, that gives you everything that you ever created.
Oh, you want specific ones? You can search for a tag in your gallery too to limit the number.
Okay. I'll try that next time. I counted 558 and then stopped counting. But only 90 images made it into the book, because as creative director or even art director, I'm like cutting things out that don't make any sense to the story. Even though they look cool, they didn't fit in. So this project started back in September with that awesome creative challenge from Illustrata and Ebus Labs. And after that, it just spiraled into, I wanted to do more. I wanted to add more to this. So I kept working on it. It took me 4 months. I also work in Photoshop. So I wasn't just bringing these in, slapping them into a thing and pushing it out there and printing it. I was actually going into Photoshop and rezzing it up, making sure the saturation was okay, and, you know, doing other things like refining things, sharpening things, and anything else that needed to be done. All right, dirty little secret that I have no shame in sharing with you. When I produce my picture books, and I think this is 3 of the AI, but I have several others that I've done, I use PowerPoint to create the book. It's freaking easy to use PowerPoint to create books. Unlike other books that I've done for other people and got professionally paid for, where I'm using InDesign, PowerPoint is great for picture books. You can actually change the DPI in it. So it works out really well. The moment you all been waiting for, prompt crafting. How the hell did she do this? All right, let's get on. So I begin by telling a story. Okay, so these are just little snippets of things from my prompts. It's a black hole. It's in the distance. It's scary as hell. I add emotion. That's really big. It's enormous gravitational feelings, massive amounts of dust. The next thing I do is I tell it the style of art, hyper-realistic, dystopian science fiction, horror style. And finally, the last are technical details like V-Ray rendered, photorealism, volumetric lighting, cinematic lighting. Okay, 5209 by 3375 did nothing. Nothing for the product. I learned the hard way, you can't do that. 300 DPI did nothing, but 8K did. So that was helpful. Okay, so here are some of the...
Teri, what did 8K do? Did 8K make it more detailed?
It gave it more detail. Okay, so any other questions before we get on and take a look at some of these images?
I don't have a question as much as I'm really interested in using the emotional prompts in the prompting. And it's interesting how the AI experiences the emotion.
It is. Gary's Hell was like, I mean, when I said I need an image of the black hole like tearing into space soup, like you saw in the very beginning, and it has to be really scary and horrifying. I mean, you could see it in that. I'll go back to it if you want to see it again.
I'm curious, did you try doing it without the emotion, and how was it different?
No, I didn't do it without, because I've learned from other projects that when you put it in, you get interesting results. So I didn't try it any other way.
That's great.
So this story doesn't take place in our world. It takes place in another world, and it is about a black hole. So here, I love this image. This image I couldn't take my eyes off of. It's like this intense feeling. I love this sort of bird nesting thing that's happening around it. It's tactile, but it's also fierce and spooky and scary. So, these two images, I did get it to do gore. It did gore for me, as you saw in the beginning. But these two images are really interesting. And the striking thing is when I was like, it's in a black hole, anytime I put it in there, I love the fact that it picked it up and put it on the helmet. So I thought that was a really good use of the prompts that I had written for it. There are no artist names mentioned in my prompts. I learned, like when I was first learning to prompt, I learned by doing everything we all did is put artist names in it. But then I learned how to add more like technological things, explain it better. I'm even trying things in terms of, like, one project I'm working on requires a composition that has a swirl in it. So I want to take the eye from the center and move it outward. So I'm trying things like that for adding composition into the prompting to see if that works. Formats. There are two formats. So when the original project launched, it launched with NFTs. So there are 8 NFTs for story chapters, and then the 2 pieces that I did for the Halloween Haunt Gallery. Those are now so I went back to my collectors that collect it and told them that I will give them a copy of the ebook. So something you might want to think about, like when you're doing your NFTs and you want to do something else, like add a physical product, maybe the NFT becomes that token to the physical product. So that's what I'm doing right now. So anybody who buys an NFT gets the ebook. And the other is, of course, the regular book. And I think that's it. Kyle, how are we on time?
We're good. Let's open it up.
Do you want
feel
me
free
to
to
take
ask Teri questions.
I could stop sharing. Do you want me to take them to the spatial gallery?
We can do that. Let's grab some questions first. It looks like Roger and KR have questions.
Okay. Bring it on. I'll do my best.
So, I guess part question, part more comment. I thought it was interesting that in your prompt, you were referencing other similar work. You're talking about, the style being as hyper-realistic, something in the style. And that struck me as a little bit circular. I mean, you're trying to create something in that style, and you're sort of saying, make it look like what it is, rather than sort of stating in more absolute terms what those stylistic things you're referring to by their style names sort of really are, if you don't use the names for them.
I'm not. I think.
Imagine the term hyper-realistic had never been coined, and you wanted to talk about that same thing, so you had to use the words that symbol refers to. Right.
Hyperrealism has been around for a long time, so if the AI has been trained on it, it will give me images that have actually evoked that style. So.
Well, of course, what it really gives you is images that people have labeled as being that style. So it's someone's opinion that something is hyperrealism. It doesn't know what hyperrealism really is.
Well, true. It's an algorithm. It has no intellect.
But so hyperrealism as a concept is what we decide that it is. All of art is put into boxes that we label and determine ourselves. Why is the tagging structure invalidating that?
Well, if the images have been tagged with hyperrealism, then it's going to pull up those images that have been tagged.
Right. It sounded like Roger was making the distinction that the images that are tagged as hyperrealism aren't hyperrealism. They're just tagged with hyperrealism. But them being tagged with hyperrealism means that someone identified them as hyperrealism.
Yeah,
And
well,
hyperrealism conceptually is what we decide that it is.
Doing that is piggybacking on the opinions of others.
Well, I think also, I think too, something that comes up with generative art is that generative art can only exist from the art that's already been made, right? So an AI can only train on a generative art model based on the art that has been made over time. And as a culture, we've created art and we've labeled it as such. And so the generative models can really only generate work that is coming from that canon.
Well, for MidJourney and DALL-E and a couple of the others, but with Playform, you could train it on your art.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I did not use Playform for this. I was playing with MidJourney.
That's
So
right.
I can't, I have used, like, for the other two books, those, it's pulling from my references.
Wow, so cool.
Ken, you get a question?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm kind of new to the whole NFT thing, and so I'm particularly curious about the process of going from creating your storybook to putting the storybook on an NFT marketplace. Which one you're using and how exactly you go about doing that.
Okay, so I've done two things with my books. With this particular story, Beyond Darkness, each NFT, each of the 8 or 10 NFTs have a particular story in it. So it's part of the story that's in the book, but separately, it is a story. So that's one way I've done it. And I use Tezos. I'm the co-founder of TezTown. Come on over. We'll teach you how to do everything. The other thing that I've done is I've actually NFT'd in a book, like, what is it? Tales from Space. You could get the NFT on object.com and you'll get the full, you could download it. It's a PDF file, and actually it has more images in that book than it does on the one that I sell that's published. So, so there's another way of doing it too. So you can do the PDF files.
So is there like a minting process, or I guess?
Yeah, you mint it. Let's see, how do I mint? So I write up a contract in Object. I actually apply a copyright because object.com lets you do that, which is cool. I describe it, I title it, I put my tags in there. I make sure, like, in my description, I'm telling everybody this is actually AI art. I describe what it is, tell the story, the actual story is in there. I set the editions and the percent of royalty. I hit mint. And then when I'm ready to list it, I'll list it for whatever I think it could sell for.
I have a question about copyright, and I know there's a lot of turmoil around can work that's created with machine learning be copyright, and that feels like a really important decision, because in terms of selling NFTs, what are your thoughts on? I mean, I think what the work you're making should be copyrighted as your own work personally. But what are your thoughts on if you sell an NFT, but the image isn't actually yours because it was created from an image from using artificial intelligence? Like, how does that play into NFTs?
Well, I'm not quite sure, like, the books that I've created or even my own NFTs are images that are AI generated. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if you're following, there's a lawsuit right now where, yeah, and Christina just suggested bringing an IP lawyer in to talk about this, because there is, the Copyright Office will not necessarily give registrations to images that have been made using generative art.
Oh, wait, I remember reading that. I thought there was another reason why that happened, because my book's copyright.
Okay, and that's fantastic. Yeah. Do you register the copyright and everything?
I do.
Yeah.
Not in this case, I didn't. I will do the other ones.
Yeah.
So how about Illustrata or Ron? Have you had any issues with the copyright?
I've not had any issues with the copyright. I think, you know, that is probably something that will happen down the line. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's been any kind of like litigation or anything that would create a precedent. So to be continued.
Yes, an IP lawyer for sure.
For sure,
Yeah.
to be continued. DG, you had a.
Yeah, I mean, there's just as a side note, there is an interesting case going on with a comic book right now that was granted a copyright, and then it's now being re-reviewed because of the use of the art. But getting back to your stuff, Teri, it's fascinating and it's darkly beautiful. I'm just curious, the way that you worked. Is all the images that we saw just straight up, or did you feed them back into the system, you know, to get maybe closer to what you were looking at?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I stopped counting the number of images that I made at I think it was 580 something. I can't remember.
Right.
So yeah, I tend to make a lot of images to narrow it down to only 90 that were put in the book, because it's not, you know, I wanted to do this, and then it's like, okay, then I'm pushing it like, oh wait, that looks cool, can you do something else, you know? And then you rewrite the prompt and you restructure it and then see what you get and then go from there. So, but I also bring things into Photoshop, so I'm not a purist, I'm not 100%, you know, doing
So a lot of work here, you know. I think that's kind of lost on people.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there's a, you know, I hate calling it work. There's a pleasure in this.
Well,
like
no,
I wouldn't be
creative
making books. I wouldn't be doing bookmaking if I didn't love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Would you like to see the spatial gallery, or shall I just leave that as a link? And also the Halloween haunt is pretty amazing too.
What's the spatial gallery? Is the metaverse gallery?
Yeah, the Halloween haunt is also a spatial.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Okay, let's see. All right, hold on. This one will be easier because it's in a tab. Here we go. Okay, you're gonna see mine first, and I'm gonna leave, and I'll take you to the Halloween haunt. Here it is. So this is the gallery that Illustrata and Ibis Labs, who's Ron Reed, put together. And it's just resin. It's amazing. The work in here is incredible. And Illustrata, if you want to jump in, that'd be awesome. And Ron?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. So essentially, this gallery is a collection of Halloween horror-themed images that we solicited from the community, essentially, had people submit. And it's not just AI art. There are some like traditional digital pieces in here. It is predominantly AI because that's kind of the circle I run in. But we did this and had a show, like I think a couple of days before Halloween, and got to tour the gallery, and artists got to come in and talk about their pieces. We also had a little bit of a competition. The winners of that competition are on that first dark wall. Yeah, there.
This one here?
Yeah, down this hallway. Oh, past the baby head. Yep, keep going.
Okay.
Kind of like as you just walk in.
Oh, right here.
So these were the 3 finalists, and I believe the middle piece was the winner. That was by an artist, Black Label Art Cult, on Twitter.
Oh,
yeah. And so they got a little prize, and I think Ron ended up, we purchased the piece as an NFT in the Halloween Haunt wallet. So
it's pretty
cool.
So, oops. Here's some more. Putting together the spatial gallery must have been a lot. It was a lot of work, and it's beautifully done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot more work than I was expecting it to be, but it was a lot of fun to create. And then I think just as we were creating this, spatial allowed you to start using kind of 3D objects. So we got to add a little bit more Halloween decor to it, because otherwise it would be pretty bland looking in terms of the gallery space. But yeah, Spatial's really good for that. If you ever want to explore it or create your own gallery, it's free.
It is. So let's see, my two pieces are, let's see, like from the left is second to the left and the last on the wall that I'm facing. So
Very
you guys
cool.
can go into here anytime you want. It's public, and
Why don't you put a link to it in the chat?
okay, we'll do. All right.
Terrific.
I'm going to stop
Awesome.
sharing and turn that back over to you.
Well, Teri, thank you very much for showing us that. Really amazing to hear your process and how you did it. So that's exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teri. That was
Thank
great.
you
Really inspiring. Thank
letting
you.
me do this.
Yeah, so inspiring. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Oh yeah, golf claps. I think we've started a tradition of golf claps.
Yeah, I was just trying to.
Yeah, very nice. Allie, you ready?
Yeah, before I get started, can everyone hear me okay? I have like my computer mic turned off. Okay, cool. I think also, can I get a show of hands both in the room and online of people who like have not used either Discord or MidJourney, people for whom this tutorial will be especially helpful? Cool. Anyone have you guys used it a little bit? Have you used it? Okay, cool, awesome. And you're relatively new. Okay, cool. And then I see some people online. Okay, so it seems like there's a couple like full newbies and then people with differing levels of experience with MidJourney, which is great. I'm gonna start at like the very, very beginning for anyone here who's like overwhelmed with just signing up to use MidJourney. So again, anyone here in the room or online, if you wanna like follow along with the steps with me to get set up, it really only takes a couple seconds, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys now. Okay, so
And this will be recorded, so you can go back and pause if you need to.
it will. Sorry, 1 second. Let me put on present mode.
Oh, is that the thing you just dropped in?
No, I didn't drop it in the chat yet. I'm just gonna show it up here. Cool. Can
That's cool.
everyone see okay?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yes, this is the thing I just dropped in.
That's
like
super cool image.
2 seconds before this started, I realized I didn't have a cover slide, so I asked MidJourney to generate me one. So that's where this came from. The Discord link to, I'm not sure if Forrest is asking for our Discord link or the general Discord link, but I have both links coming up. So hang on just a sec. My introduction, hi, I'm Allison Rowe. I moved to Colorado about a year ago after living in New York and then Seattle before that. I'm a brand strategist and digital nomad. In my agency days, I was known as an idea vending machine, which is part of what makes MidJourney so fascinating and amazing to me, that any idea I have, I can visualize in like seconds. And yeah, I just dropped in my personal Instagram here. It's public. You're welcome to go follow it. That's where I tend to post my AI art. I am a little all over the place with styles, and I really just love experimenting. So some of the stuff on the bottom here is experiments that I've been doing lately. I'm also currently in like I'm doing one of the month-long theme challenges. So if you want to get spammed with themed AI art for the next 30 days, go in and follow me. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so what is MidJourney for anyone who hasn't encountered it yet? It is, they describe themselves as a research lab focused on new mediums and tools for empowering people. One kind of thing that I wanted to clarify for people here that they might not realize is it really is a research lab with many different models, and some of those models are public and available for you to use, and other ones are in development and behind the scenes. But MidJourney is not just like one engine per se. There are many different models within it, and some of what I'm going to show you today is like how to switch between some of those models. I threw in some pricing information for you guys here. The first images The first 25 images are free and they require essentially no setup at all besides a Discord setup, which is going to be like a username, a password, and your email address, and date of birth is all that's needed to do 25 images for free. And then from there, there's an option for $10 a month and $30 a month. And then the images that I included down here at the bottom, I just kind of wanted to curate a little collection for you guys here of the diversity of things that are possible on MidJourney. And this is by no means exhaustive at all, but just a little range here of, you know, a more like Renaissance style picture, a logo for, I believe I wrote the prompt, like a logo for an eco-friendly cleaning company. And that's what came up. And I could easily import that into Adobe Illustrator and make mild modifications to it and call it a day. The middle image is in a style called Vaporwave that's really popular on the MidJourney Discord forums and that I'm a big fan of. The right is a meme that I made of Greta Thunberg after all the Elon drama last week. Just what she would look like as a Nicktoon, a 90s
That's
Nicktoon. And then the right is an image that I made to put on a throw pillow and print. And it turns out actually that I can do that for like $20 and get a custom made throw pillow with my art on it.
Have you gotten it yet?
It hasn't come yet. I'm excited to see the quality, but
Yeah.
I've ordered other stuff from this company before and it's been good. So I'm excited to see.
That's a cool image.
Okay, cool. So this is like the literal setup for you guys. So if you want to head to midjourney.com, the first thing that you're going to see is this kind of overwhelming Cody looking screen. You're going to want to hit the join the beta button there that I have highlighted. From there, it's going to kick you over to Discord, which I think is a step that is really confusing for a lot of people of like, I'm trying to sign up for MidJourney. Why is it now asking me to sign up for Discord? But really, it's extremely easy to set up. Again, it takes like 3 pieces of information. So, and you don't also have to sign up for MidJourney after this. This is the MidJourney sign up right here on Discord. So you'll set a username. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So what is Discord? It is a free voice, video, and text chat app that houses thousands of online communities. There is a MidJourney community. We have our own community called for the AI Artist Salon. There are thousands and thousands of others for every hobby and topic you can imagine. And many of them are also related to like AI and creativity. There are tons of those. It was the app Discord was originally designed for like gamers and coders. So it's not the most user-friendly thing, which again is why I'm taking the time to walk through some of these basics with people today, because I don't think it comes intuitively. And I'm sure when I first started using it, someone had to explain it to me. So I hope this is helpful.
Well, it's the other important thing about it is because we're using Discord as our community in between these meetings, learning how to use this is actually really important. It will serve you well because I think a lot of these tools, they're Discord communities. You can find out news, you can get questions answered, and we can do the same thing here. So it's really important for this community
And
as
to
well.
clarify and add on, again, all of MidJourney image generation is done within Discord itself. So within our Discord, the AI Artist Salon Discord, we have a MidJourney channel where we can create work together, we can share work, and we can actually even remix each other's work and create
brainstorm. Yep, exactly.
So the kind of the goal of this walkthrough today is to make sure that everyone here on this call and in this room has the information that they need to get onto our Discord server and come play in our MidJourney channel with us. That's kind of the goal here. I did want to share, because I don't think everyone realizes that there are web-based desktop and mobile app options for Discord. So if you don't want to download it, you can always visit online in your browser. It's super easy and it's pretty much the same experience. If you like the convenience of having it on your desktop, it's easily available for PC and Mac. And then there's also a mobile app, which I generate MidJourney images like literally on the go. I'm like, you know, walking down the street typing prompts into my phone. It's absurd, but I love it. And yeah, also, so it's where our meetup community hub exists, is on the Discord. If you want to be a part of these more in-depth conversations, like I think 2 hours a week is never going to be enough for us to dive as deep as we want to in some of these really complex topics. So if you want to be part of that conversation, you have to join the Discord. So yeah, like I said, all you need to sign up, username, date of birth, email address, and then your all set up for Discord, all set up for MidJourney. You got 25 images free. And you can, hit that link that I dropped earlier in the meetup chat, and I'm sure we'll spam it around as well for people to join our Discord. I did also want to show people the MidJourney Discord, because I think that is also something that can be very overwhelming for a lot of people. So I'm actually going to hop over to it now. And it's also very cool, the things that exist here. So I just kind of want to show people what's going on in this incredibly overwhelming, like I just pulled it up and it's literally not in English. I can completely understand why people would be overwhelmed by this. But this is actually, the reason it's not in English is because this is the announcement that MidJourney recently made for a new anime model called MidJourney, so it uses the same controller as MidJourney. It operates in Discord, but like I was saying kind of at the beginning of this, MidJourney is not one model, it's not one machine, it's many machines contained within a research lab. MidJourney is their newest model. And it includes, obviously, you can see here some information about how to use that particular model. Again, this can be very overwhelming when you first start. Some other things you'll see here are, I actually really like their micro polls. They ask about some of this is more about their Discord, but they also ask about features, like which features would you use or not use? Which features do you use and not use? What do you want us to change? And I find those really helpful to give them feedback. They have support, and their support is pretty active if you have questions. We also on our Discord have like an ask for help channel, but we're not experts. So it's good to know that there is yet. I saw a comment on LinkedIn yesterday, I think in a conversation that some of us were having, and someone I didn't know declared, I'm putting my 10,000 hours into being an expert at AI. And I loved that mentality of like, I'm going to be an expert at this thing. It's going to take 10,000 hours and I'm starting now today. So, yes, ADD brain, loses my train of thought a lot, but we'll keep going. There's newbie rooms here where you can like mess around and explore if you're new. We also, I would actually recommend ignoring that. Come over to our Discord and mess around there instead.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry. Can I ask a quick question? How do you add like the micro, like I'm in it and I can see the announcements and I can see getting started, welcome, blah, 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 rules.
So you need to go to the channel rules and hit the thumbs up emoji I don't know why I keep looking at this. Hit the thumbs up emoji to accept our rules, and that will give you access to all the rest of our channels. That is one of the things that I wanted to show in part. I'll jump and do that now because a lot of people are getting stuck on this.
Yeah.
When you first join our Discord, you won't be able to see all of the channels. It should kick you to the welcome channel first with this message that's kind of telling you to go to the rules channel. But the first thing you'll want to do is come to rules, read this little message here that basically says you're going to be a good person and not a terrible person, and then hit the thumbs up reaction right here. And that's going to automatically give you permission to access all of these other channels that we have.
Yeah, that's in the artist salon, right? But in the
MidJourney. Oh, okay. I believe it's the same thing, that they just have rules that you need to accept. That's a very common practice on Discord in general. Sorry, I skipped over that. I think I already accepted their rules a while ago. Welcome.
It's interesting.
So I want to make sure that I that I figure this out, because I don't want people to have the hit those obstacles where it's not working for them. So I don't think that I did opt in. So you're just not able to see, Christina, you're not able to see any of the other channels in the MidJourney?
I can see, so I'm in MidJourney and I can see the announcements, the status, the rules, but I can't see that micro polls. So I'm not sure if you add those, or
No,
I can see trial, member support.
I'm trying to figure out what that would be.
Prompt FQ.
If anyone else recalls from setting up MidJourney recently, feel free to to jump in. Like I would guess that I needed to opt into rules, and that's how I got access to all the rest of the channels, but I don't recall offhand. Can you see like the getting started
Yeah.
channel?
I think I can.
Oh, you know
started.
you know what it might be is actually, so see how these categories of channels have tabs? Sometimes you can accidentally hit those and then it'll only show channels with new messages, and it'll hide all of the channels that don't have a new message since you last looked at it.
That's probably what it is.
Possibly.
Well, you know what?
Anyway, I can see most of this stuff. It's
But
okay.
if you're still not able to,
Yeah, come to our Discord and we can problem solve that.
It could very well be a membership thing, because I know I tried to do something on one of my accounts that doesn't have a membership and it wouldn't let me see it. Like I can't see the gallery.
Okay.
Okay.
But I can see other stuff. So okay. Thank you.
yes, of course. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. I think the main other thing that I wanted to show you guys specifically on the MidJourney server is all of these. I think if you scroll kind of further down in their channels, it's around halfway down. This is where I think things get the most interesting and helpful, is looking at the showcases and the themed image generation for different types of images. So if I want to make a new character, I come to this character themed image gen channel and I start looking at the prompts that people wrote to create characters and what the result was. And I get ideas for how I want to craft my prompt based on what I see here. And I don't, no judgment to anyone who steals the prompt, copy paste it, do whatever you want. That's not what I do. I more extract like snippets from different prompts, or just get ideas for types of language that people are using and then modify it. But yeah, again, so they have like characters, they have environments. If you wanted to make like real estate imagery, for example, you could get a lot of inspiration and help on prompts in this channel. Sorry, it's loading really slow on the images. You might have to just go play around. And then they also have these like group jams, which is kind of what I mentioned earlier, of like people collaborating together and being able to remix each other's work. Again, I find the MidJourney server overwhelming. It moves very quickly. People post images like really, really, really fast, and it's just a lot to keep up with. I think part of why we incorporated MidJourney into our meetup server is to have a slower paced place to talk about all of this and play around with it. But yeah, I just wanted to, another cool one here. Again, it's not going to load, is patterns and textures. I think this can be a very easily monetized aspect of Discord, that you can create very detailed and high quality patterns and textures that you can apply to all different kinds of things. Okay, cool. So that's MidJourney on Discord. And then we have our Discord. I'll go ahead and drop the link in again for anyone else who hasn't joined. So that's in the chat for you guys. One thing to point out there for you guys is the directory channel. So sorry, jumping back. I think I already explained it, but if anyone is anyone having any troubles with the rules and getting access to the other channels of the AI Artist Salon on Discord?
One thing I'll flag is that on the event, the link is not valid.
Ooh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's very good to
I found
know.
a good
Okay.
one in the link tree, but
Okay, and the one that I just dropped in should work as well, but thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, they expire like every 7 days or something.
Yeah, I think I just swapped out the link tree one with a longer expiring one. So
And then the other things I will show you, oops, sorry, I have many Discords going on here. The other things that I will show you guys in our Discord, the directory and the AI resources tab can be very helpful for getting started. I see even some of these resources here that people are sharing the same ones in the chat of the call right now. Also, please, like, if you have other tools and resources to add to this list, thank you, Illustrata, for already dropping one in. But yeah, please, if you have tools that you like using, drop them in that channel, and we can add them to the master list there. Let's see, we've got the artist salon category is going to be just stuff about our meetup, stuff about our group. Then we have lots of discussion channels.
Those are where the fun stuff
I was
is.
gonna say, it sounds like the one that's going to be the most popular is this legal ethics talk channel here. But we've also got lots of other stuff going on. Prompt crafting chat. We have the news, which also moves very, very quickly. Lots of news being shared. And then we also have the lazy news, which is like automated AI summaries of all of our news.
Powered by GPT-3.
Powered by GPT-3. You know, places to talk about different image tools, about like business ideas, NFTs. And then we have the sandbox and showcase, which is going to be more of like talking about things that we made and sharing things that we made. MidJourney Play is where, if you want to get started on your free 25 images, this is where you can do that. And all you have to do to get started is a / and then the word imagine. And you can do that right here in this channel. So thank you, Kenny, for the cover page. Yeah, so all you have to do is type imagine. / is an important thing to remember on Discord, as it's kind of like your trigger that you're telling Discord that you want it to do something for you. It's like, I'm not writing a message, I want you to do something for me. And a bunch of those are going to be related to MidJourney, but some of them are also just Discord. Once you type that / in, that's kind of that's the only thing you need to remember, because this pop-up will come up and then you can scroll through and like refresh your memory on what it was you were trying to type in there. So as long as you can remember /, that's really all you need. Imagine prompt is all you need to get started. So let's see, let's generate something right now. I actually really wanted to show people on the call the user interface design capabilities, and I didn't have any examples of that already. Let's see, what can someone give me a type of company that we are designing a website for?
An NFT marketplace.
NFT marketplace.
So she's typing user interface design, NFT marketplace, web design, UX layouts,
I'll make
UI
it,
layouts.
I'll go through like prompting, sorry, 2, 3, and I'm going to give it the aspect ratio 2, 3, so it'll be skinny and tall like a scrolling website. I think that'll probably give me better results. And you know what? I'm going to throw some style on it just for funsies. Oh, nope, I'm on V4. Wrong number. Sorry, guys. So you might also hit lots of invalid parameter issues. That is actually like kind of a current problem that, okay, let me pull up also. The main thing that I wanted to show you guys, I think, is the settings menu, which again is overwhelming, but I think it's the easiest way. Like if you don't get on the settings menu, then it's just a whole bunch of / and that's even more confusing. So I think that the settings menu is the easiest way to start to wrap your mind around the possibilities of what you can modify within MidJourney. So by going to your settings, typing / settings to get to this that I have here, I can now choose between the models of MidJourney that I'm interested in. For the most part, so I'm trying to also not overcomplicate this. MidJourney recently updated to version 4 as the default setting. Version 4 actually has way less capabilities than version 3. Normally, I would not include this explanation in a beginner's tutorial for either of these things, but some of the tools and codes and prompt crafting won't work in V4. They'll only work in V3, and you're going to hit invalid parameter warnings like that. So even maybe if you want to mess around with stuff, maybe just switch your default to V3 for now and mess around with V3 rather than V4, which is, like I said, just limited at the moment because it's new. And then, like I said, Niji mode is the anime version. So if you wanted to make specifically images on an anime-only trained model, you would select that button. And then in this next row here, we have gonna be honest, I didn't know what MJ Test and Photo are. I think those might be upscale options, but I like to look over here at the quality options, which we have half quality, base quality, and 2x quality. It says 2x cost, but that just means it uses 2x server time, so it will just move through your time faster. I like generating higher quality images because they tend to have more detail. Sometimes it's really just not necessary. And also sometimes you can over quality develop an image. Quality tends to refer to like the amount of time that it processes in MidJourney. So half quality would be half time. Say it runs normally through, say base is 10 iterations. Half would be it stops at the 5th iteration. 2x quality would be it stops at the 20th iteration. So sometimes it's like over baking cookies. They're like not good anymore. But I play with that a lot. The higher quality, especially when I find an image in the style that I like. Higher quality makes it easier to export out into Photoshop or Illustrator to make additional modifications, and the images just look a lot cleaner at a higher resolution. And then on the style settings, so you saw me type into this prompt here that's still loading for me. At first I typed in S5000 and it didn't work, and I switched down to S1000. Again, that's because style is limited in version 4, which I have turned on right now. In version 3, you can actually go up to 50,000, which is like absurd. But again, play with it. Like if you want to switch to V3, try making the same prompt twice with style at 50,000 and style at 1 and see how that transforms your output.
And style does what? It makes it more creative or less creative?
Yes. I can say intuitively what style means to me. Someone else feel free to jump in if you have like a more technical, clear answer. I would relate this in the Stable Diffusion Dolly stuff that we were looking at. Was it chaos there?
Oh no,
or,
it's
like how literally do you want us to take you? Style
how
at a
close?
very high number is like, don't take me that literally, get weird and abstract with it. Style at a very low number is, I want not necessarily realism, but I want the exact thing that I asked for.
Yeah, as close to the prompt as possible.
If I said on style 1, if I said I want a photo of a woman in a car, it very well might generate me a literal photograph in a frame as opposed to an image. And you see what I mean? Like it would take the word photo literally and give me a physical photograph if the style was set as at 1.
Okay, so
Whereas
it's
the style set at
OpenAI's temperature variable, basically. Sounds like.
This didn't do it.
Maybe we can open bottom right doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna try upscaling 3 and 4 and see what we come up with. I think UI UX stuff is still like in early days, but I've seen artists do cool stuff with it, so I just wanted to pull something up for you guys now. I'm just about to open the floor for like extended questions. I have one last thing to show you guys, which is, and I'll share this. Okay, yeah, so basic commands that everyone should know. Imagine, settings, which I just showed. Ask is an important one because you can actually ask the MidJourney bot how to do anything that you're confused about. And it has its own whole tutorial explanation. So if you're like, how do I turn a cat into a dog? MidJourney will like find a proper answer. The answer would be use the remix tool, and it would explain how to do the remix tool for you. So that's helpful if you're just getting started and you have questions, like more complex questions. And then I also included just how to do emojis in Discord in particular, because I feel like it's confusing, and if you aren't like native to Discord, you wouldn't know. But so you use oh my God, colon, semicolon, colons. I get them mixed up. I'm a terrible English major. Yeah, so use those to indicate that you are like sharing an emoji. And similarly to the /, like once you start typing, it'll kind of populate what it thinks you're trying to come up with and give you a chance to do that. There's also reactions in Discord, which are we? Okay, okay, I'm working on it. I swear. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, that's fine. These are the important links that I pulled for you guys for how to walk through this. If you weren't able to today, or if you're following along later on online. So these are advanced commands. I'm not going over them in detail. I just wanted to drop them in here for anyone that wants to start messing around with things. One suggestion that I have for everyone is to turn on the prefer remix option, which allows you to iterate multiple times on the same image. So after generating a first image with remix mode on, I can now change the prompt and type something else, and it will modify my existing image. And that isn't on by default, so I just recommend everyone doing that. I think that's it. Questions? Oh, sorry, one more thing. Homework assignment. We just wanted to get everyone on our server and on our MidJourney Play channel. So we're just gonna start experimenting with having like a bi-weekly theme or challenge or something that we can all kind of work on together. And then we'll share the outputs of that on our community social channels. So I just picked something easy to start with. The theme is 2023 for the new year, just anything however you want to interpret that, however you want to interpret 2023 in the new year. If everyone could experiment with MidJourney or any AI generator of your choosing. It also doesn't have to be art. If you want to go to ChatGPT and like write a story or a letter or whatever, just make something with AI around this theme, drop it in the community collab channel on our Discord, and we'll kind of see where that takes us.
Yeah, and I would encourage you. I mean, part of the goal here is sign up for the Discord, join the Discord, go into the MidJourney channel, use MidJourney, because anything that you do in there, we'll be able to see what your prompt was. And I shared something in there that Allie said, "Oh, I've got an idea for that," and she took it and ran with it. And it was something I never would have even thought about. And it was this really cool thing. So we want to get as many people in there as possible, just throwing ideas around. So
there's been some good chat back and forth of like, I was trying to get this, but it didn't work. And then someone's like, try this term, try this word. So lots of good collaboration already going on.
Yeah. So yeah.
This is my conclusion. Don't get left behind.
That's good. The train is a coming.
Hey, Allison, how, this is fantastic. So thank you. All the information we shared is wonderful. How repeatable are certain things, based upon, like you were saying earlier on, you could lift sections of people's prompts to kind of, guide you along. But if you find that you're in a certain area and you're getting really good results, how repeatable is it to sort of, recreate something or create something in the same vein, or is everything kind of a crapshoot in a way?
I'm a little of both and definitely not either. I think there are some really cool tutorials out there right now for like how to create consistent characters or how to ensure that a style transports across scenes, but I don't think that it is super intuitive or built into the platform very well. It's more people finding like hacks and workarounds to do that. Right now, like stealing a prompt from someone else and just dropping it into mine, the thing I think it would copy the most would be the style, like colors, maybe brush strokes and general composition. But it would be fairly distinct. I couldn't go take someone's prompt and like continue their character. I couldn't I definitely, like I know Kenny and his creatures, I definitely, even if I had the prompt, I don't think I could take that and go make my own creatures. I don't think it would work because there's too much input with like the reactions and sorry.
This seems like a major issue because I find that, not trying to copy someone else's prompt, but I find just trying to refine my own prompts that even a seemingly small change can totally derail, the thing I liked about the thing before. So trying to find the connection between what it is you said in your prompt and what you got, it's still black magic. And
it is.
It is, but I would also say that it's not random. I don't think it's random at all. I think that it knows language very well. And I know that can be controversial because it knows language in the sense that it knows tags and how images are tagged, but I think it has a very good understanding. It's more that we have to teach ourselves how to use the right words to get it to do what we want it to do. Like we don't all have art history degrees. I find that I'm learning so much more about style and techniques because I'm studying people's prompts and work and trying to recreate things.
Yeah.
You don't find that you can.
I don't want to ignore the people who actually raised their hands.
Yeah, let's go with Jenny. Jenny, you have a question.
Yeah, so I noticed under the artwork that Allison had generated, there's like labels U1 and V1. Can you explain what those means?
Are you talking about like in the oh yeah, I see people already doing it. Love it.
Oh, that's great. The upscale and variations. The four.
Okay, so that's what
yeah, sorry, you're right. Yes, I should have explained that. Okay, so I'll use cartoon Cabos right here. So the first when you first put in a prompt, it's going to give you 4 images to choose from, and they move clockwise. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and they correspond to these 2 rows here. The top row is upscale, which means like make it bigger and add more detail to it. And the bottom row is make more variations of the same thing. This refresh button over here is, I don't like any of these 4. I want you to try again, re-roll. And then just to clarify on the remix feature, when you have the remix feature turned off and you hit one of these V buttons, it's going to just generate more in the same style and in a similar composition to what you already have here. Because I have it turned on, I can actually now modify so for example, let's say I like this bottom left one. This is V3, but I want it to be like a heart instead because it looks like it would make a cool heart. And that's really all I have to put in here. And maybe V3 because it's already in V3. And now we can see how it's going to like remix.
So it'll take that as your base and then do heart on top of it.
Yes.
Weird.
And I should have done video because we could actually watch the transformation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let that load.
Other questions? Who else had a question?
Video on here.
Someone else had a question.
I'm gonna add.
Well, you said to do remix as a prefer, like you have that remix thing, and can you explain it again how you did it?
Sorry?
Can you explain it again and how you did it?
Yes. So to turn it on, you can either just type in this /prefer remix, or you can type in that /settings that I dropped in before, which will give you, how do I keep using?
Who's passed it?
It's like not showing on mine. Or you can pull up your settings and the remix mode button is right here. You can just hit the button to turn it on or off. And then
what is that? I'm sorry. And what does that do? The remix mode?
Yeah, so that gives you the ability to re-prompt. It gives you, it means you can take an image that has already been generated and put a new prompt on it or modify the existing prompt.
No matter if it's mine or someone else's.
Yes, but I believe on an account level, you can basically prevent other people from remixing your work if you don't want them to. You can turn off. I think it's not in here. I'm not entirely sure where that setting is, but because I have mine turned on, I think.
Cool.
But yes, so generally speaking, you can remix any work on MidJourney, whether you made it or someone else made it.
And then how do you get them? Like, do you download them? Like, what do you do once you find something you like?
Okay, so after the image is so this is a first upscale. It's still going to be kind of low resolution. I normally upscale at least once more, sometimes even more than that. And that would be hitting either the light upscale, detailed upscale, or sometimes it'll show beta upscale as well. And those are just different methods for adding detail to make it a larger photo. I would recommend you just play around with that to get a sense of what they do. Remaster is also a method of upscaling that is kind of more extreme. I don't know if anyone else has a good way of explaining it, but I find that it's best for like hyper realistic stuff and photographs and not very good for anything illustrative, abstract, artistic. It seems to be more geared towards like Unreal Engine generation, video composition and scenes, game design. So like very, very intricate, detailed, hyper-realistic 3D things. And then to get the image, you hit that web button that is right here. So again, I would upscale this a few times, but just for the sake of showing, I hit the web button, that comes here, and then I just hit the save button. And that just makes sure that I get it in the highest resolution, because sometimes there are like different previews happening here.
Yeah.
So I like to always just hit the save button rather than like copy paste or right click or anything like that. The save button just, in my experience, has always given me the highest resolution version of the image. And then I'm glad you asked, because I did want to show also like this gallery view of MidJourney. This is where you're going to go to see and organize all of the images that you've created. And you can add categories to kind of clean up your, I like how it's saying I have no images. I have many, many images. I can't show you because it says I have no images, but the online gallery, midjourney.com/app, that's just where you go. Yeah, like I said, to see everything that you've made. It can also be helpful to hit this sort by upscales button, which will eliminate all of the low res. Oh, there we go. So here's our attempt at a UI. This wasn't great, definitely not great. So any UX
Well, the panels
people,
are pretty cool.
any UX people in the house can keep your jobs for now. But it's not bad. And like I said, that was like the first time that I even tried to do UI UX. I didn't practice the prompt or anything like that. I'm working on mid-century modern patterns here to put on art and sell. Gotta love a good climate change meme. Just kind of showing like the range of things that you can do with this.
So wait, how you got here was from the MidJourney channel on Discord, you hit the web button and it basically takes you to your private web page.
Yes.
On MidJourney?
It's going to take you to the specific image to start, but then, yeah, but then you can like exit out of that to get to like your profile, your gallery.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I thought I just had to scroll incessantly.
No, and so actually I'm glad you didn't know that, because there's some other cool stuff that I can then show from this, which is I can actually go back to the original job. So for example, what I've been doing lately with some things that I made before V4 came out is going back to my V3 job and running it through V4. So it's like a 9-month-old image that I generated, and I'm just like rerunning it through the new machine.
Yep.
The internet's really slow, but yeah, so this is just like jumping me back to any point in time. I could do that with any of these. I could scroll like all the way back to my very first image, and it would take me to the Discord chat post that I generated that image in, and cool. I could remix it. I could upscale it again. I could, yeah, like I said, run it through one of the other models. So yeah, that's just a little bit about like how I use MidJourney.
The one thing I'll share and jump in is if you're really brand new to this, don't feel weird about copying and pasting prompts. Like, it's a really good way to learn. Find an image you like, just copy the prompt and just go generate images from it, and then like change a word in it, or swap out an artist, or swap out anything, and then see how the variations come. It reminds me of the early days of the web when HTML was really simple. If you didn't know it, you'd go to a website and then you'd say view source, and then you just copy and paste that, and then slightly modify it. So I would say, especially if you're new, don't feel any shame in that. Like, it's the way to learn. It's one of the beautiful things about this. It's one of the things that's freaking people out, because it's like, well, that was my idea. But it's like, we're in a world where creativity is endless. So figure it out and figure out your style from that.
I think I want to jump in here too. Just start prompting. Just start writing stuff. Write crazy ideas. Write prompts that you can't even imagine going together. It's so fun to see what is generated. Try to make the worst possible image you can. Like, throw a bunch of prompts that you'd never imagine going together, and then start to see what happens. And like, play, and don't worry. Like, just get in and start playing, and very soon you'll start to like be more inspired to try, and then all of a sudden, like 5 hours will go by and you've been sitting on MidJourney for 5 hours. But just like approach it from a place of play, and I think you'll find just delight in what you can come up with.
Agreed. I've been saying all week that it brings out like my inner childhood and imagination and creativity in a way. Like I feel like I'm playing make believe in a way I didn't think that I could as an adult. Sorry, someone asked about the video feature, so I just wanted to show this real quick as an example. This is just like a fun AI generated tarot card reading that I did, but I used the video setting to basically show the cards being generated. And that is just like dash video, and then you have to react to the job with the envelope. I'm happy to explain that in more detail, like on Discord, if anyone is really interested in it.
Yeah, there's an explanation of it in the MidJourney
like
channel.
Further up there,
Yeah.
yeah. I was also experimenting with it with the remix tool of like, what if I generate an image of a dog and then make a video of the dog turning into a cat, or I was playing around with like chicken and the egg and making a video of a chicken turning into an egg.
You did mountains and then mountains on fire. That was really interesting.
Yeah, that was, I think that's further up in the thread that I tried to make like a wildflower garden and then remix it as a video into wildfires. So the video is it like turned like flames coming out of wildflowers. So yeah, there's definitely cool, like so many ways to experiment with this. This is just like a couple of the ones that, that have called to me, but I'm really excited to see what everyone else does with it in coming weeks.
Yeah. Well, Allie, thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you so much. I think a golf clap is appropriate.
Were there any more questions? Or if there are, feel free to like ping me on Discord and I'm happy to answer.
People who are attending here, how do we get?
How do you get?
I'll share that presentation in
Well,
in the Discord.
if you go to the meetup where you signed up for this,
But that's broken. The link, he was just saying that the Discord is not.
no, I changed it. I
Okay,
changed
good,
it. It was like 2 hours before here it was broken. It fixed
Okay, cool.
So if you go to the meetup, there's a link to our link tree, and the invite for the Discord is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrific. All right. We have 3 minutes left. This is fantastic. I think we're figuring out how to do this. Like, I think we're getting there. Thoughts? We're getting there. Yeah. Yay. Nay. People are sleepy. People on the East Coast are like, I'm ready for a nap, Kyle. I need a
I do
drink.
think there was an idea that popped up in the chat that I thought was wonderful, that maybe instead of having several news stories, we pick one topic that we do a deep dive into. And that sounded really interesting to try out.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea.
That's great. That's the other thing. I mean, because this is our third meeting, like, we have ideas about what we want, but we also want this to be everyone. So if you have ideas about what it should be, for me, the real goal here is I want to create a community of people that are curious about this, coming at it from lots of different angles and playing and sharing generously, what you learn. And like Ali did when the video thing went in MidJourney and just started, she goes, ooh, I have an idea. And she sort of ran down a bunch of rabbit holes, and just seeing that energy made me go, ooh, I want to go try, and I went and did something else. It wasn't even related to that, but that's what this is all about. So, I don't know. Hopefully this is of value, and we're at time. We like to get people out on time. So any final thoughts? Any final questions? Wrap it up.
I have one just final request. Please get on Discord. There's so much happening there, and get involved. If you have questions, ask. We're all here to help. It seems like people are on Discord all day. So if you pop in and you ask a question, someone will probably be there to answer it. It took me a little while to get up and running, but once you do, it's just a really wonderful resource. And I think that this group is going to really come into itself on that channel.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm really excited about, I've been in a lot of Discords for NFT projects, and everyone in those is completely anonymous. And what's nice here is we get to meet each other every 2 weeks, and then you kind of know who the people are in the Discord. So it's not purely anonymous. So it's really nice. If you choose to be anonymous, that's cool too. But it's nice just to meet people and then see them online and be able to play. So all right. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Go have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Wait,
Great to see you.
One final thing. one final thing at the bottom of the agenda, which is in the email that was sent out, is a link to Ken's email address and contact information. If you want to speak at one of these, send your information to Ken and what you'd like to present on, because we're trying to book these some weeks in advance. So please do that if you're interested in doing, or if you can't find that, Kyle at storyvine.com, just send me an email and I'll forward it to Ken. All right? Great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I have a-
everyone.
I have a
So great to see you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Quick last question I'll throw
Bye.
out there. Any tips on using credits wisely?
On using credits, MidJourney credits?
Yeah, using wisely and not burning through too quickly.
Yes. It depends which version you're using. If you're paying for the $30 a month version, then use relax mode like as often as possible. That's in the settings window that I showed you guys. If you're only in the $10 a month subscription, then you can't use relax mode. But I think you can set that quality setting. I think you could set half quality for potentially maybe those first image generations. Like when you're just getting the 4 tiles, you don't really need full quality. So go with half quality, and then you can upgrade. Like once you find an image you actually like, you can switch the quality to the higher level.
Solid advice. I like it.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I'm here for everyone. Feel free to leave, but if there's other questions, I don't mind hanging for a sec.
Great. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.